On the midnight of 1st October 1960, the Nigerian flag was raised. It means Nigeria has gotten independence from Britain. Finally, Nigerians are free. The people danced, sang, and enjoyed the best they could. But unfortunately, it was not yet over.
In handing over the documents to the Federal Prime Minister, Alhaji Sir Abubakar Tafawa Balewa, Her Royal Highness handed over sovereignty to a new nation.
Although Nigeria got her independence in 1960, it was until 1963 that Nigerians took partial control of their country. Because between 1st October 1960 and 1st October 1963, the Queen of England, Queen Elizabeth II, was still the head of state in Nigeria. Despite that, Alhaji Tafawa Balewa was the Prime Minister, while Nnamdi Azikiwe was the Governor General. But they were still taking orders from the Queen. Then on 1st October 1963, Nigeria formally became a republic. It means they can now govern themselves. Nnamdi Azikiwe became the President of Nigeria, while Tafawa Balewa remained the Prime Minister. But suddenly, in January 1966, a military coup was conducted in Nigeria, organized by Chukwuma Nzogu and the other young army officers. This coup happens to be the first in Nigeria and the heaviest in record, as it saw the death of many great Nigerians: the Prime Minister, Alhaji Tafawa Balewa, the Premier of Northern Region, Sir Ahmadu Bello, Chief Samuel Akintola, and 19 others, including senior army officers and politicians. Then the military took over, and Major General Agui Ironsi became the head of state. But by 29th July 1966, barely 6 months in power, Ironsi was assassinated while on a visit to Ibadan. He was killed alongside Lieutenant Colonel Francis Adekunle Fajuyi, the then military governor of Western Region, who insisted that Ironsi should not be killed under his watch. The soldiers who came for the exercise then decided to take both of them, as he would not allow them to take away his guests.
Just my people, as the hurt, you don't happen. This is the hidden truth of Nigerian leadership, and I believe our children must be taught this history. Please, as you are watching this video, please kindly share this video, save this video so that you can also show it to your children. Make them watch. Please share this video. May everybody make them see it.
Their body was later found along Owo Road in Ibadan. After Ironsi's death, General Yakubu Gowon, who was the most senior military officer from northern Nigeria, took over as head of state. Few months into his administration as head of state, the Nigeria-Biafra War broke out, which lasted from July 1967 to 15th January 1970.
I call on those who claim to love Nigeria and the Igbos to face realities and advise the people of the East Central State to lay down their arms and return to the fold.
After the war, General Yakubu Gowon was still the head of state until 29 July 1975, when General Murtala Muhammed overthrew his administration and became the head of state, with General Olusegun Obasanjo as his second in command. Murtala Muhammed's administration was short-lived, as he was killed on 13th February 1976, just after 6 months and 15 days as head of state. His death was masterminded by a group led by Lieutenant Colonel Bukasu Kadinka. They shot him while in traffic in his vehicle near Dodam Barracks, Obalande, Ikoyi, Lagos. After his death, Olusegun Obasanjo took over. He was the head of state from 1976 to 1979.
True enough, it is an interdependent world. But we in Nigeria today are over-dependent on other economies for non-vital and non-essential goods, which does not help our development.
During his administration, he promised to conduct an election for civilians to rule the country. By August 11, 1979, a general election was conducted and Alhaji Shehu Shagari became the president of Nigeria, with Dr. Alex Ekwueme as the vice president.
I, Sheikh Usman Aliyu Shagari, do solemnly swear that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
After their first 4 years as president and vice president, on 6th August 1983, another general election was conducted, and the result was a victory for the incumbent Alhaji Shehu Shagari. He just won his second tenure as president, but the second tenure only lasted for 4 months, because on 31st December 1983, General Muhammadu Buhari overthrew their government through a coup.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. Please sit down.
General Buhari became the head of state of Nigeria for only about 1 year and 8 months, when in August 1985, General Ibrahim Babangida, who was part of the team that helped Buhari become the head of state in 1983, conducted a military coup and overthrew the Buhari administration, thereby becoming the head of state. Babangida was in power from 27th August 1985 to 26th August 1993, a total of 8 years. He resigned from his position as head of state in 1993 after the 1993 general election, through which he promised to hand over to civilian rule. But instead of handing over to Chief Moshood Kashimawo Olalekan Abiola, popularly known as MKO Abiola, the presumed winner of that election, General Babangida decided to annul the election.
The people of this country went to polls on Saturday, June 12, 1993, and without let or hindrance chose me as their president. I won in 20 states, and I won the 1/3 of the votes in 28 out of 30 states and at the Federal Capital Territory of Abuja.
This annulled presidential election had two major candidates, Alhaji Bashir Tofa of the National Republican Convention, NPC, and Chief MKO Abiola of the Social Democratic Party, SDP. The election is adjudged to be the freest and fairest in the history of Nigeria, but was annulled by Babangida on the basis that if he had allowed MKO Abiola to be president, there would be a military coup that would put his life and that of Abiola on the line. He said that some top military officers were already planning to attack if Abiola emerges. As a result of that announcement annulling the election, a public protest was sparked throughout the country, and it forced Babangida to step aside and handed power over to Chief Ernest Shonekan as the interim president of Nigeria on August 27, 1993. Ernest Shonekan's administration only lasted for less than 3 months before General Sani Abacha took over as the head of state in November 1993. Abacha was the head of state from 1993 to 1998 when he lost his life. The Chief of Defense Staff, Major General Abu Sami Abubakar, took over as the head of state. General Abu Sami Abubakar promised to hand over power to a civilian government after a general election. The election was between two major candidates, former head of state Chief Olusegun Obasanjo, who contested on the platform of People's Democratic Party (PDP), and Chief Samuel Olufale, who ran on the platform of a joint alliance between the parties Alliance for Democracy and All People's Party.
That Olusegun Obasanjo, retired of the PDP, having complied with requirements of the law and scored the majority of votes, is hereby declared the winner and is returned elected.
By May 29, 1993, Chief Olusegun Obasanjo and Alhaji Atiku Abubakar were inaugurated as the President and Vice President of Nigeria. Obasanjo was the president for 8 years, between 1999 and 2007, which includes 2 tenures of 4 years each. By 2007, he handed over power to Umaru Musa Yar'Adua, who had won the 2007 general election. But by May 5, 2010, after just 3 years in office, Umaru Musa Yar'Adua was declared dead following months of illness. Dr. Goodluck Jonathan, who was the vice president, took over and completed the tenure, while he also ran and won the 2011 general election, giving him a fresh tenure that lasted from May 29, 2011 to May 29, 2015. By 2015, through a wave of coalition and alliances that gave birth to a new political party, the All Progressive Congress (APC), Muhammadu Buhari won the presidential election, defeating the incumbent president, Goodluck Jonathan, and others. This marked the return of General Buhari, who was the military head of state between 1983 and 1985. He then served as the president from 29 May 2015 to 29 May 2023. On 29 May 2023, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu was sworn in as the president of Nigeria after a keenly contested election between 3 popular candidates, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar of the People's Democratic Party (PDP), Mr. Peter Obi of the Labour Party, and Bola Ahmed Tinubu of the All Progressive Congress (APC). But in all this, after years of gaining independence, it still reflects as if Nigeria is still under colonial bondage. Thank you for watching. More is coming your way. You need to subscribe and like this video.